It's time for some tough love with my closet. And so I thought I'd spill the tea with all of you today on what I'm keeping, what's getting the boot, and what I'll never, ever let go of, even though I tell you to curate your closet all the time. So there are a few things that I always keep. So spoiler alert, there might be some drama, some nostalgia, and a few surprises. Hi ladies, Beth here with Style at a Certain Age. And as I said in the teaser, we're gonna head into my closet for a little spring cleaning because it's that time of year. And I've shared with you many, many times that I clean my closet twice a year. And I have actually several videos, we'll link them here, about why it's really a good idea to clean your closet. Decluttering is good for your mind, and then you're also able to see what you have to wear on any given day. Honestly, after 10 years of blogging and hundreds of outfits, some better than others, and y'all know I love blazers, so honestly more blazers than I care to admit, but I've learned a thing or two about what deserves a permanent place in my wardrobe, and yours too, and what doesn't. So in this episode of Closet Confidential, as I said, I'm spilling the tea on what I keep, what I toss, and the items I absolutely treasure. And some sentimental pieces definitely made the cut. And others, let's just say it's time to say goodbye. Okay, and so I divided this video into buckets. So first we're going to talk about what I keep. And honestly, these are my wardrobe workhorses. So let's start with that, because they are my wardrobe heroes that earn their spot season after season. And these are the pieces that are the backbone of my closet, the hard-working wardrobe staples. They're versatile, they're high quality, and they make me feel confident every time I put them on. So this will not surprise you at all, but I am going to keep my classic blazers because you know I'm a blazer girl. I just think they're the perfect third layer. So I always have navy, camel, and white. They're structured, sometimes they're slightly slouchy, and they instantly elevate any outfit. I reach for them when I want to look polished without overthinking it. And honestly, they're just part of my style formula, my style uniform. So when I think that I don't have anything to wear, I just think of what I can put together with my blazer. And yes, I do keep a few seasonal fabrics: linen for spring and summer, wool for fall and winter. And here's a style tip. If it's tailored well and makes you feel powerful, it's a keeper. Next on my list, and this probably won't shock you either, but I keep my crisp white shirts, because a button-up shirt is like a Swiss Army knife. It works under sweaters, I tie it over my dresses, I tuck it into my denim, and I layer it with cardigans. And I keep a few, okay, maybe more than a few if you've seen my white shirts, but they're not all buttoned down. But I always keep a few in my rotation at all times and replace them when they lose their structure. And here's a style tip. And honestly, this works. I absolutely love this because a slightly oversized fit is more modern and forgiving. Okay, next on my keep list is straight leg denim. And trends come and go, and we've all loved our skinny jeans, and now we're kind of in love with our wide leg jeans, and many of us have kept our skinny jeans, tucked into our boots, but straight leg jeans are timeless. They're flattering, they're versatile, and they go with everything from sneakers to heels. And I keep them in a range of washes: light, dark, white. And I even have a few fun patterns. Next on my keep list are cashmere sweaters. And okay, maybe we're not wearing cashmere sweaters as much in the spring and summer, but I will share with you to invest in the featherweight cashmere. It's very lightweight. Quince has featherweight cashmere, and J. Crew does as well. So honestly, you can wear those year round. When you invest in quality cashmere, you better believe I'm keeping it. And I store them carefully. I always de-pill them as needed, and there's a really handy dandy little sweater shaver that I always recommend. So I do that. And my cashmere sweaters last me for years. Neutrals, of course, like camel, gray, ivory, and navy are always in rotation. And then there are just those beautiful colors that may be a little bit more trendy. I always keep like an array of pinks on hand because I love pink, but definitely cashmere sweaters. And here's a little tip. Fold your cashmere, never hang it. It helps keep its shape. Okay, next on my keep list are structured handbags. Yes, this is an accessory that, I mean, honestly, a great handbag can take even the simplest outfit and make it look luxe. And I keep my structured totes and top handle bags in neutral tones. So that's black, that's tan, that's ivory, because they pair with everything, and I mean everything, and they never date. And that's why I always recommend to invest in handbags, because that is just one accessory that you'll never be sorry that you paid a pretty penny for. And next on my keep list are nude pumps and neutral sandals. And I keep these on hand because they, honestly, nude pumps, especially in the pointy toe pumps, and you don't have to get like the really high stilettos. You can get a beautiful, 2-inch or maybe even, 2.5-inch, but this is the pair of shoes that elongate your leg and go with everything. So, and that's definitely like when I'm in doubt, there are two shoes that I always reach for when I'm in doubt. A metallic, because they go with everything, and then a nude shoe does as well. And so whether I'm wearing denim, or maybe it's a dress, maybe it's a power suit, nude heels are honestly the secret weapon in my shoe closet. And next on my keep list, timeless outerwear. Yes. Think trench coats, you want to think classic pea coats, and a camel wrap coat. And I keep all of these pieces because they transcend trends and they instantly make an outfit look polished, even when you're wearing leggings and a tee underneath. And that especially goes for trench coats, because if you have a long trench coat, I mean, you could just be really just, looking very, very schlubby. And so here's what I do in the winter time. When I have like a long camel coat or a trench coat. So, and I haven't really bothered to put any makeup on, but I will put a bold red lip on. Sometimes I'll have my glasses, I'll do my brows and my lashes, boom, out the door. But here's a mini tip, because if it still fits, flatters, and functions, you definitely can keep it. And if it makes you feel like the best version of yourself, you treasure it. Okay. So here's my next segment. So this is what I toss. And honestly, with no regrets. And it's not necessarily what I toss, because I really do advise over here to think about sustainability. And that means that we're not just going to be shopping fast fashion and Amazon and just all those clothes that are going to be in the rubbish bin tomorrow. I really think about sustainability in the regards of that I can actually thrift it and then pass that on to someone else. So it's not necessarily what I toss, although there are those basics that you are going to toss, like your white tee, and it's so stained and nobody else is going to wear it. And yes, those go to the rubbish bin at a certain point. But donating, thrifting, that is really what we want to be thinking about. There again, the pieces that I'm not keeping, these are the ones that just don't earn their space in my closet anymore. And my first thing that I toss out are definitely my worn out basics. And then that is what I just mentioned. That's my favorite tee, especially a white tee that has worked hard all summer long or several summers long, and they're just looking a little bit dingy. And we just know that it's time, because basics should be refreshed regularly. And next, I definitely am going to toss this, and you should too. And those are those fast, if you still are shopping fast fashion, I really think that you should go through your closet very thoughtfully and curate it, because that trend that perhaps I bought on impulse, and yes, I buy things on impulse too, even though I do try to be very, very thoughtful about curating my closet. But if it didn't survive more than one season, it's out. My closet is for timeless pieces. And of course, I love to have a trend here and there, but I'm thoughtful about that too, because if a trend has an expiration date, it's not going to stay in my closet. And next, I am going to toss all of those items I haven't worn in over a year. And sometimes I even think 6 months. So yes, even the maybe someday dress. That is perhaps the dress that you are thinking that you'll lose 5 pounds for. You know, you're really thinking of the body that you wish that you have, not the body that you do have. And I've talked about this in other videos. We really need to be also very intentional with wearing things that actually fit us and make us feel good. Not make us feel like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm so bad, I didn't lose the weight or whatever. No, we want to dress for the bodies that we have. So if I haven't reached for it in a year, chances are I never will. And here's just a little tip. Because if it makes you sigh, hesitate, or say, I used to wear this, as I said, let it go. We need to be thinking about the woman that we are today and wear those things that make us feel amazing. Okay, so my next bucket, and I do think that this is really important that we go through our closets if you are doing a closet cleanse. So what are those items that you actually treasure? They could be sentimental, they could, I mean, and I've shared this many times as well, clothes really can conjure memories. So now, and as I said, this I have to say this is my favorite category because there are so many pieces that I absolutely treasure. And these are the pieces that hold my stories, my memories, or just bring me joy every time I wear them. So first up, I truly treasure my late husband's cashmere sweaters. It no longer fits anyone, but I keep it for the comfort it brings. Style is about self-expression, but it's also about memory. And I also keep this on hand too, and it was his favorite cologne. He just absolutely loved cologne. He just always smelled absolutely scrumptious, and so I keep the cologne that he was wearing for the last few years of his life, and it's Tom Ford. And every once in a while I will just pull that out and then I'll just spray it, and it just reminds me of him because clothes have memories, but scents do too. And my second treasure, and I have one from my mom and I have one from my dad. So my mom, I have her full-length mink coat, and I don't really wear it here in Georgia because it really does not get that cold. But when we lived in Minnesota, I would actually wear that coat to the grocery store because it kept me so toasty warm. I mean, A, it was just absolutely gorgeous, and B, it really kept me so comfortable and so warm. So there really is a place in my heart for this beautiful mink coat. And next is a vest from my dad. It's a fur vest, and it was a zip-in lining to his leather bomber. And so it's very oversized, but I'll just wear that in the winter time here. Just, it's very casual, wear it with a pair of jeans, and I love it because it was my dad's, has sentimental value. And I also love his Burberry trench coat, and it doesn't fit anybody. I mean, I've actually offered it to my children, and they don't want it, but so it's just hanging in my closet. But it's honestly, it's beautiful, and I just will never part with it because it just reminds me of my dad. And I also will not part with investment handbags, and I have several actually that Mr. Style purchased for me, and they are classic leather designer handbags. And these pieces elevate every outfit, they hold their value, and they've been with me through travel, through events. I've even taken them to book club, and they were also gifts from my husband. So they're also very near and dear to my heart. And the next pieces that I will never part with, and that's vintage jewelry, passed down from my mom and my Nana. And every time I wear a piece, there again, I feel connected to them. I mean, clothes and jewelry, you know, things like that, as I said, they have memories, and it really does. And I love that. I just really do. That I can still feel very connected with them, and they've been gone for a very long time. And here's a mini tip. Treasure doesn't have to mean designer. It just has to mean something to you. Okay, ladies. Editing your wardrobe isn't about being ruthless. Although, I mean, I do recommend that sometimes because, I mean, if your closet is so cluttered and so overcrowded, I think it does take a ruthless moment, but it doesn't necessarily have to be ruthless. It's definitely just about making space for what truly serves you, what reflects who you are now, not who you used to be or think you should be. So take a little time, maybe pour a glass of wine, and try the Closet Confidential method. Keep what you love, toss what's holding you back, and treasure the pieces that tell your story. So I'd love to know what's one item in your closet you can't part with, or what's something you know needs to go but you're still holding on to it. Leave a comment below, and if this inspired you to do a little spring cleaning of your own, give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more timeless style, lifestyle tips, and yes, even a few closet confessions. Until next time, ladies, stay fabulous and stay stylish. I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.